students. Today we are going to start the new chapter, new topic, that is service business. That is Reserve Bank of India, service business 1. We are going to learn service business 1. We are going to learn in this, which is very important chapter for you. That is, you have to know about more about RBI, and also in this chapter we will come to know about what are all the functions of RBI and what are all the how it was started, the historical development of bank in India, and a lot of what is the functions, what are all the how it was started, and also so many things we are going to discuss in this chapter. And we are going to learn about the organization structure of RBI and what is the origin of RBI. And next one is functions. The functions are divided into 3. That is leadership functions and also supervisory function, traditional function and promotional function. These functions also we are going to learn. Now before that I want to discuss you with what is regarding the word service. Regarding the word service, that is, what are all the service? We are doing the service. Educational is a service. Medical is a service, isn't it? So educational is a service sector. Then medical is a service sector. Then what are all the things come under the service sector? Hospitality, it is coming under the service sector. So these are all the business, these are all the services. See, through these services we are going to earn money. So like this service, it is not existed in today or 10 years or 20 years ago. It was existed for a century. Then what is the why we say let us come to the banking service. Then the service sector, primary sector, tertiary sector, secondary sector. In the tertiary sector we have studied about the banking service, isn't it? So the hindrance, lot of hindrances we have learned in the first chapter. Lot of hindrances of a place can be eliminated by the transport. Like the same way, hindrance of money can be eliminated by bank. Bank also is a service sector. So its bank have a predominant role. It plays a vital role by providing money. So this is these services, it plays a predominance in the global trade in the recent year. Recent year means in 1990, in 1970. So this service sector, how it was emerged as a dynamic sector of the world economy. The service sector will have the impact in the world economy. How it will have the impact in the world economy, let us see. See, 1/3 of the gross value is added. Gross value is added. Then next one, 1/2 of the world employment. So 1/2 of the world employment is added. Then 1/5 of the global trade was the service sector is contributing in the gross value added. Then 1/2 of the world of employment opportunity and 1/5 of global trade is increased. Global trade is increased. And the next one, 1/2 of the foreign direct investment also increased. 1/2 of the foreign direct investment also increased because of this service sector. So the service sector plays a predominant role in the global trade, so that it is a key driver of the Indian economic growth. So the service sector plays a key role in Indian economic in an Indian economic growth. So in Indian economic growth, what are all the remaining contribution? See, India's economic growth is contributing at least 66.1% gross value in the year 2015-16. You can refer your book. So it is not only, it is banking also is one of the very important service sector. So banking is the important sector. How in our body nerves connected in everywhere, isn't it? Like the same way, finance is the lifeblood of the business, isn't it? So which is very important. Banking service is a nerve system of the industry and commerce. So banking service is it plays a nerve system. So why we need it? Why it plays a predominant role? Why it plays a vital role? By providing a money. Why we need money? To regularize our business. To regularize our business function, or there will be a regular business is going on. So I have to enhance my business. So for the development of the business also, I need money. So where I will go? The bank only I can get the loan. So World Bank refers to commercial bank. There are lot of banks are there. World Bank we call it as commercial bank. So there are many type of services. Central bank is one of the most important one among them. So there are many type of service banks are there. Central bank is one of the most important one among them. So central bank. What was the main uses? What is the every nation has its central bank, isn't it? So each and every nation has a central bank. It is most important. It is governed by that particular government. So the central bank is governed by that particular government of the country. So this central bank is the important role, and also it plays a predominant role in our Indian economy. And the next one, each and every central bank is a different name in the different countries. The next one is that functions also vary from country to country. So each and every country has its own central bank. So the central bank is one of the most important function. Then the central bank is there. So the control over the central bank, the entire banking system, all the control over the central bank, all the control over the bank is vested with the apex bank. So each and every country has its own central bank, but the name will be different from the country to country, and also these functions also vary from country to country. All these banks control is vested with the apex bank. And also here in this word you come across Imperial Bank. Imperial Bank is one of the most oldest and largest commercial bank of India, and it is subsequently transferred to State Bank of India in the year 1955. So next let us move on to the historical development of banks in India. First, what are all the development? Let us see one by one. Now, central bank we have studied already, isn't it? All the control is vested with apex bank, and it is autonomous body, and also a central bank is set up as an autonomous body, or it is a quasi-autonomous body. And what are all the goals of a central bank? So, to stability and growth of the it is the main goal of, see, country's growth, country's economic growth is the main goal of the central bank. So in India, which is the central bank? RBI is the central bank for India. So which is the central bank for India? RBI is the central bank of India. So what is the main goal of the central bank? The central bank main goal is to achieve the stability and growth of a country's economy. These are all the main goals of the central bank. So let us explain about the historical development of banks in India. First one, which bank was started? So we are going to learn about the central bank. Other name we call it as RBI, isn't it? So let us discuss about the historical development of banks in India. Historical development. First, Bank of Hindustan. First, which bank was started? Bank of Hindustan. Bank of Hindustan was started. So, in which year it was started? It was established in the year 1770. Which year it was started? 1770. It was started in the year 1770. And when it was closed? 1932. It was closed in the year 1932. It was closed. Why it was closed we don't know, but it was closed in the year 1932. Then next one, General Bank of India was established. First one is Bank of Hindustan. Bank of Hindustan was started. Then next one is General Bank. General Bank was established. In which year it was established? It was established in the year 17. It was established in the year Bank of General Bank 1786. 1786 it was started and it was also liquidated. Liquidated means it was encashed. It was encashed in the year 1791. It was liquidated, but it was liquidated means what is the meaning? Dissolved. In the partnership we have learned, isn't it? Dissolved. They are all moving from the partnership. So like this, like the same way, all the bank was closed. So General Bank was started in the year, it was established in the year 1786 and it was liquidated in the year 1791. Then next one is Bank of Calcutta was the first joint stock bank established in the year 1806. Bank of Calcutta. Bank of Calcutta. It was established in the year 1806. And also, it was also renamed as the Bank of Bengal. So, this Bank of Calcutta was renamed as the Bank of Bengal. Which year it was renamed? In the year 1809. In the year 1809 it was renamed. Then next one is Bank of Bombay. Bank of Bombay in the year 1840. So Bank of Bombay in the year 1840 and Bank of Madras. Bank of Bombay. Bank of Bombay. It was established in the year 1840 and Bank of Calcutta. Bank of Calcutta and Bank of Madras also. Bank of Madras also established in the year 1840 43. So these are all the banks were established. These banks were called as a presidential bank. These banks were called as a presidential bank. These banks were called as a presidential banks, and also these banks are situated in the Bengal, Bombay and Madras only. These banks are situated in Bengal, Bombay, Bank of Bengal, Bank of Bombay, Bank of Bengal, Bank of Bombay, Bank of Madras. So Bank of Bengal also was situated, it was established in the year. All these three banks, Bengal, Bombay, Madras, all these three banks we call it as a presidential banks. Then what was happened in the year 1881, it was witnessed the birth of Youth Bank. 1881, there was a growth of Youth Bank. It was established, which was later named as a, this Youth Bank is later named as a Punjab National Bank. Punjab National Bank. Now at present we have the same bank, that bank name is called as a Punjab National Bank. So it was established in the year 1894. That present this bank is available. So these presidential banks were amalgamated. Amalgamated means what? It was putting together, combining together into the Imperial Bank. So all this bank was amalgamated together with the Imperial Bank. Then let us see about these presidential banks we have seen, isn't it? So these presidential banks were amalgamated into the Imperial Bank. All the three banks I have told all these three banks amalgamated means putting together, combined together. It's converted into the Imperial Bank of India in the year 27/1/1921. So this Imperial Bank, what it does means it confines its operations to the urban sector. It restricted its operations to the urban sector and rural sector. It was completely neglected on those days. So because therefore after the independence, an act was passed in a parliament to take over the Imperial Bank of India by the government. So on that effect, on behalf of the Imperial Bank, it was taken over by the State Bank of India. Imperial Bank was to take over by the State Bank of India in the year 1955. In the year 1955. So this come into the existence in the year 1955, July 1, 1955. This Imperial Bank was taken over by the State Bank of India. What are all the service of the bank? What are all the things the bank will do? Let us define about the bank. So far we have discussed about the historical development. What is the first bank, when it was established, and what are all the banks, which bank has taken over by which bank, everything we have seen, isn't it? So at last we have, still it is there, the origin of RBI we are going to learn. So just I told you the historical background of bank, that's all. So now let us know about the banking service, or we call it as a banking definition, we can say. Definition. So banking, what are all the things doing? Banking is accepting our money, and banking is lending money to us. Then next one, we are we are investing money and we are depositing money. Everything is a public money, isn't it? So we are investing, everything is considered as a public money only. It is not a single person money. Everything is a public money. So whenever we need, we demand, whenever we public will ask you to repay. So the bank is repaying the money. Then on demand we are withdrawing the money. And at last, how we are withdrawing? We withdraw through check and we withdraw through pay order. Pay order also considered as a check giving gift. We call it as a pay order. Then if we want to pay any university fees, what we will do? We can take the draft, DD. So these are all the ways to withdraw the money. We are repaying money. Repayable, when we receive loan, we have to repay. So these are all the functions of the bank. Now let us know about the origin of RBI. Already I have told you, Imperial Bank was taken over by the State Bank of India in the year July 1, 1955, we have seen. Now let us discuss about the origin of RBI. How the RBI was emerged, that we are going to see. See, Imperial Bank of India carried out the note issue. Note issue means we are going to issue the currency notes, no? That functions will be taken over by the Imperial Bank. And other functions also taken over by the Central Bank. So in the year 1926, what was happened? There was a committee, there was a young commission called as a Royal Commission. They have recommended to create a Hilton Young Law Commission. So this, in the year 1926, Hilton Young Commission. So they recommended to create a new bank called Central Bank. So as a result of this, RBI Act was passed and it was launched its operation in the year April 1, 1935. So the RBI was started by share capital of 5 crores. So everything is divided into shares as a 10 rupees. 100 rupees. It is entirely, it was owned by the private shareholders only. So it was divided into shares of rupees 100. So the share capital is 5 crores. RBI's share capital, why it was started, the share capital is 5 crores. How it was, they have collected 100 each, rupees 100 each. Rupees 100 each for fully paid up shares. So the first head office, everything is first it was started as a private bank only. After that only it was taken over. The act was passed. So let us see remaining. So this is how the RBI was started. So RBI share capital, it is started with 5 crores. This 5 crores is divided into shares of rupees 100 each. It is fully paid up shares. The entire money was owned by the private shareholders. So the first head office was situated in Calcutta and then it is moved on to the Mumbai. Then later it is moved on to Mumbai in the year 1937. So this is how the origin. So let us see remaining in the next class.